Greetings children, welcome to the online classes. This is Aishwarya. Please like and subscribe the channel for the further updated videos. The following video is for class 6, subject general science, chapter 9, the living organisms, characteristics and their habitat, part 2. Now in the part 1 of this lesson we learned what are the different habitats or what are the habitats that different organisms live in, that is the terrestrial habitats and the aquatic habitats. Then we learned how different the body of the animals must be to adapt to the different conditions of their habitat. Habitat means it is the place where the animals live. Then we saw some activities to understand that much better. And what is adaptation? Adaptations means that the changes that happens in our body or the changes that an organism undergoes to fit better in the environment. So I hope you have your textbooks with you. Go to page number 82. We will continue with the lesson. We learnt about biotic components and abiotic components of any environment. Biotic components and abiotic means it is the living component of any environment, and abiotic means it is the non-living component of any environment. Now we know that some plants grow from the seeds. Let us look at some abiotic factors and their effects on seeds as they grow into a young plant. Now in page number 82, activity 2 has been given. Recall activity 5 in chapter 1. We made sprouts from moong and channa seeds. When the seed turned into a sprout, it is said that it is said to have germinated, right? We learned about how the germination of the seeds lead to the growth of the new plant. This is the beginning of life of a new plant. Collect some dry moong seeds. Keep 20 to 30 seeds aside. Soak the rest in water for a day. Divide the soaked seeds into 4 parts. Keep one part completely submerged in water for 3 to 4 days. Do not disturb the dry seeds and those submerged in water. Those both, that is the seeds that are submerged in the water and the seeds which are kept dry, should not be disturbed. Keep one part of the soaked seeds in a sunny room and the other completely in a dark region like inside a cupboard that does not allow any light to come in. Keep the last part of the keep the last part in very cold surrounding, say in a refrigerator or with ice around them. So you understood where all these seeds have to be kept. Rinse them and replace the water every day. What do you notice after few days? Do the seeds in all the 5 conditions germinate uniformly? Do you find slower or no germination any of these? Yes, the seeds which are dried or which are not soaked in the water do not germinate, isn't it? Do you realize that abiotic factors like air, water, light, and heat are important for the growth of plants? In fact, abiotic factors are important for all living organisms. We are dependent on the air, water, light, and heat. Not only us, the plants, every living beings, they are related to these factors or the abiotic factors of the environment. We find that organisms exist in the very cold as well as very hot climates, isn't it? Like microorganisms, bacteria, they live in extreme conditions like the hot climates or a very cold climate also they do exist, that life can survive. How do they manage to survive? Adaptation is the method by which organisms get well adjusted to the climate. Adaptation, they adapt themselves in such a way that um, they can live in such kind of environments, right? And these are some example of the sprouts. If you soak the sprouts for one day and uh, keep it closed in a dark place, it will start germinating. This is the picture of the germinated seeds. Next is adaptations does not take place in short time because the abiotic factors of the regions also change very slowly. Those organisms which cannot adapt to these changes die, and only the adapted ones survive. Or organisms adapt to different abiotic factors in different ways. This results in a wide variety of organisms in different habitats. Let us look at some habitats, understood the abiotic factors and adaptations of animals in these habitats. A journey through different habitat. We are going to see some terrestrial habitats and how the plants and animals have adapted themselves in such areas. First, we will see about some terrestrial habitats, that is deserts, mountain regions, grasslands is what we are going to learn. After that, we will learn about some aquatic habitats and how the plants and the animals have adapted themselves to the aquatic environment. First is the deserts. We discussed the abiotic factors of deserts and the adaptations in camels. Right? When we compared the camel and the fish, we understood that the camel is adapted in such a way that it can live in the desert without drinking water for weeks together, isn't it? What about other animals and plants that are found in the deserts? Do they have same kind of adaptations? Now, um, desert does not have only camels. It has other living organisms also. So there are desert animals like rats and snakes which do not have long legs that a camel has to stay away from the intense heat during the day. They stay in burrows deep in the sand. Okay, that I'll show you the picture later. These animals come out only during the night when it is cooler. Now, in activity 3 from page number 83, bring a potted cactus and a leafy plant to the classroom. Instead of bringing it to the classroom, you just can keep it in your house and observe. Tie polythene bags in some parts of the two plants as we have done in activity 4 in chapter 7, where we studied transpiration in plants. Now what did we do in that activity is we tied a cover to the part of the plant, kept it in the sunlight and waited for some time. After some time we could see water particles in the polythene bag. So same thing has to be done for a cactus plant and a normal plant. Leave the potted plant in the sun and observe after few hours. What do you see? Do you notice any difference in the amount of water collected in the two polythene bags? Of course, the cactus plant wouldn't have transpired a lot of water as in the normal plants. Desert plants lose very little water to transpirations. The leaves in the desert plants are either absent, very small, or are there in the form of spines. Here is the desert animal which can live in burrows. Okay, they go underground when it is extremely hot on the ground, and in the night when it is cooler it comes out. Some typical plants that grow in deserts, the cactus. Okay, so that's what I was talking to you about. The leaf like structures you see in a cactus is in fact its stem. Photosynthesis in these plants is usually carried out by the stems itself. The stem is also covered with a thick waxy layer which helps to retain water in the tissues of the cacti. Most desert plants have roots that go very deep into the soil for absorbing water. So these are the adaptations that a cactus plant undergo. The stem becomes the leaf and photosynthesis is carried out by the stem of the plant, and the leaf becomes the spines. Then they have a waxy covering. Waxy covering means the candle is made of wax. Okay, you can't it is it does not mix with water, so it can stop the transpiration of water. That is one adaptation. And the other one is their roots go very deep down in the soil in search of water to absorb as much as water as possible. So that is the adaptations of plants and animals in the desert. So next video we will learn about mountain regions and the grasslands, how the animals have been adapted to those regions. So stay at home, stay safe, take care of yourself and keep learning, children.